Hello and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain, and I'm your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 7-day-a-week, 7 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 155 of our trek, and yesterday we looked at why life is like a bank account. Today and throughout this next week, we will be presenting a series of short wisdom stories. If you miss any of our days of Wisdom Trek, please go back to wisdom-trek.com and listen to them or read the daily journal. We are recording our podcast from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. This episode will be released on Monday when Paula and I will be on our 7-day podcasting cruise. This week, while we are out at sea, I will have a series of podcasts covering short stories about wisdom without a lot of additional commentary. Once we get back from the cruise, we'll remain at camp for a few days and then dive back into the commentary on the book of Proverbs. Today we want to hike on 2 similar trails, both dealing with how we view our world. The first story is Life is like a Black Dot. One day, a professor entered his classroom and asked the students to prepare for a surprise test. They all waited anxiously at their desks for the exam to begin. The professor handed out the exams with the text facing down, as usual. Once he handed them all out, he asked the students to turn over the papers. To everyone's surprise, there were no questions, just a black dot in the center of the paper. The professor, seeing the expressions on everyone's faces, told them the following: "I want you to write about what you see there." The students, confused, got started on the inexplicable task. At the end of the class, the professor took all the exams and started reading each one of them out loud in front of all the students. All of them, with no exception, defined the black dot, trying to explain its position in the center of the sheet. After all had been read, the classroom was silent, and the professor started to explain. "I'm not going to grade you on this. I just wanted to give you something to think about. No one wrote about the white part of the paper. Everyone focused on the black dot. The same thing happens in our lives. However, we insist on focusing only on the black dot, the health issues that bother us, the lack of money, the complicated relationships with family members, the disappointment with a friend. The dark spots are very small when compared to everything that we have in our lives, but they are the ones that pollute our minds. Take your eyes away from the black dots in your lives. Enjoy each one of your blessings, each moment that life gives you. Be happy and live a life filled with love. Look at more than just the black dots in your life." I want to tie in 2 scriptures with this. First, Ephesians chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. "Imitate God, therefore, in everything that you do, because you are His dear children. Live a life filled with love, following the example of Christ. He loved us and offered Himself a sacrifice for us, a pleasing aroma to God." And then Philippians 4, verse 8. "And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about the things that are excellent and worthy of praise." And the next story is about changing our vision. There was a very wealthy man who was bothered with a severe eye pain. He consulted many physicians and was treated by several. He did not stop consulting a galaxy of medical experts. He consumed heavy loads of drugs and underwent hundreds of injections, but the ache persisted with more vigor than before. At last, a monk who was supposed to be an expert in treating such patients was called for by the suffering man. The monk understood his problem and said for some time he should concentrate only on green colors and not let his eyes fall on any other colors. It was a strange prescription to be sure, but he was desperate, so he decided to try it. The millionaire got together with a group of painters and purchased barrels of green paint and directed that every object his eye was likely to fall on to be painted green, just as the monk had directed. When the monk came to visit after a few days, the millionaire's servants ran out with buckets of green paints and poured it on him, since he was dressed in red, lest the master see any other colors and his eye ache would come back. Hearing this, the monk laughed and said, "If only you had purchased a pair of green spectacles worth just a few dollars, you could have saved the walls and the trees and the pots and all other articles, and also could have saved a large share of your fortune. You cannot paint the whole world green." So with this story, let us think about this. Let us change our vision and the world will appear accordingly. It is foolish to shape the world. Let us shape ourselves first. So today we looked at why life is like a black dot and how important it is to be changing our vision. The lessons that we can learn from each other are so valuable. So encourage your friends and family to join us each day, and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. And for the next few days, we will explore some more short wisdom stories. And that'll finish our podcast for today. Remember to listen to your daily dose of wisdom at wisdom-trek.com or subscribe at iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spreaker, or YouTube so that the episodes will be downloaded to you automatically each day. And please share Wisdom Trek with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person as you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us on our trek. The journal for today's trek can be found at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. And as we take this trek together, let us always live abundantly or fully, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.